Welcome back, everyone. Rocket League decision making today with a demo guru. I'm so excited to have him. It's Woody. Woody is a
What's going
champ
on?
2, champ 2 with about 1,350 hours. He averages over 37,000 demos, and that comes to about 5.5 a game right now. Woody, how are you?
I am doing just fine. Excited to be here.
Perfect, man. Let's jump into some questions. To kick it off, what is your biggest strength in Rocket League?
Would probably say demoing if I had to take a guess.
Flip side of that, what is your biggest weakness?
Mechanical consistency.
Okay, anything in particular, or is it...
I mean, I know most of the time I know what I want to do, and then I'll have like 5 things go through my head about like maybe I should do this instead, and then I'll not do any of those things and just whiff instead.
Alright, relatable.
Not a lot, but it happens.
Do you warm up before you start playing?
I didn't used to. Then once I got higher and people just start getting more consistent, then I realized I just kind of had to. When I was in Diamond, though, I would just jump straight into ranked.
Alright, now here's one throwing it back a little bit, about 1,300 hours. What's one thing you wish you knew when you started playing Rocket League?
Oh boy. I mean, looking back, I had always been like a demo heavy player, but I would say my first 800 hours, I probably only had like around 10,000 demos. And then the next 500, I proceeded to get 27,000 more. When I first started the game, I had taken advantage of all those hours spent in like plat that everybody goes through. Like those people are much easier to demo.
What got you into Rocket League, and what is making you stay?
So it's funny, I actually just made a tweet about this. For me, like late 2017, I had just helped a friend move. He said that he'd provide the food and liquor while we were moving. I was like, all right, that doesn't seem like a terrible deal. We had moved all we were going to move that day. He says, have some more drinks and get on Rocket League and talk a bunch of trash to people. And I was like, what's Rocket League? I played it like a few times at his house, like over the next 6 months or so.
Okay.
And then finally decided to like buy it myself. When it turned into, I don't know, me realizing kind of how to get better at the game and realizing that everybody's on an even playing field, you know? Like there's no RNG really unless you play Rumble. It's just, are you better than the other person? And there's not a lot of games like that.
My next question is Let's Talk style. How do you play? I'm going to answer that question for you and say it's very demo-centric. Instead, I'll ask you this. At what point when you demoed someone, did it click in your head and you were like, I want to do that more?
Like early on, like I've been a demo heavy player just kind of the whole time playing Rocket League. I just noticed that it was very OP in the early ranks where you could just drive the ball, you know, into the corner and let it roll down above the net for your teammate. And like after passing, it was like, well, you should go for a demo there. That only makes the most sense. When I started to like really get heavy into demoing, I think what made me really like it was probably how tilting it is for the other team. Like that's definitely a factor. Like when you can get a goal just by demoing the entire team and letting the ball roll into the net, like that plays a big mental game factor.
That's a good answer. I like that one. Now, as mentioned, you have over 37,000 demos.
Correct.
For an expert, what is your biggest piece of advice for getting that kill?
I would say overall game awareness. Like if you have really good game awareness and you're using your thumbstick to like actually look around, like knowing where everybody is on the field, you can figure out the opportunities a lot easier. So like if you see one person on the other team and they're rotating properly, then you should kind of have an idea without even looking where the other person is. So like I use that information whenever I start to turn and like go for somebody. I'll turn myself and orient myself towards the general area where I expect them to be, and then go off ball cam, and lo and behold, there they are.
200 IQ tactics right there. Let's talk about this. You recently passed 10th place on the, what I believe is the unofficial Rocket League demo list.
Correct.
Impressive.
I think I actually went into 8th or 7th last night.
He's a man on a mission. So where do you see yourself ending up?
So I don't think I'll ever get first unless the guy at first, Toothboto or Toothboto, but all of us just call him Tooth. Unless Tooth quits playing, just because he has such a lead on everybody. Like, I can definitely get into the top 5.
Only a few questions to go. There's been discussion of removing demos from Rocket League lately. And I want to know, do you think this is a good or bad idea, and why?
So I don't think removing demos are a good idea, and that's mostly because then you're just going into supersonic bumping. That takes a little while to recover from. So to be able to spawn back on your own side with 33 boost next to your goal, that's not that bad. Like, so I don't think removing them would be a solution that most people are thinking would be better. I do think that being able to pick which side you spawn on, or at least have an indicator to show which side you're going to spawn on, I think that would help remove what a lot of people feel is an RNG factor when it comes to demos.
Psionics, listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about. Here we are at the very last question, and you can only choose one. Mechanics or positioning?
Going off of what I think are easier to learn, I think it's easier to learn positioning. But mechanics take hours and hours of grinding and figuring out what actually works for you, how to manipulate your car. Like, I mean, there's people like us with, over 1,000 hours that like still are just grinding mechanics because we're just not that good at them. So I definitely would go mechanics over positioning.
That's an interesting answer. Well, 10 up, 10 down. Next time you and I are looking, talking, thinking, hopefully we're watching some of your demos take place and we're going to be examining these key moments. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm pumped.
Let's go for it right now. All right, let's jump into these key moments. Woody, I'm going to be honest, this was incredibly difficult to do because there was roughly, I think I picked out 11 or 12 key moments, including that demo attempt kickoff right there, but it just didn't make the cut.
Yeah, that has to like mostly be decided on like the speed of the other team's kickoff. Yeah. And this ZA guy that we played against here was pretty fast and pretty good. So I knew it wasn't going to work.
His decision making, I'm not trying to call out anyone's decision making, but anytime you're going off the ceiling for something like that, that's interesting. But here's the good news. We're 10 seconds away from your first key moment, and it's a mighty good one. Even in the gameplay, you called this out. So right here, we're going to see this ball come up wall. I want to know, right here, let's even back it up. Just like half a second sooner.
As I hit the ball at the wall, what am I thinking?
Oh, exactly. There it is. There's ZA. How's it going, ZA?
So, at this level in twos, especially since we had already like identified in the first 45 seconds that ZA was like going to be the really good player, because I had already demoed Shake and Bake, I think 3 or 4 times up to this point. So like I've already kind of identified who's going to be the good player and who's going to be the easy demo target. Mm-hmm. So I hit the ball up the corner knowing it's going to go backboard, and knowing ZA is a good player, I'm assuming that he's driving up the backboard. So that's why I instantly start going up the backboard instead of going towards the goal where a goalie might be.
Okay. Now we're gonna watch you air dribble him. That's how good this bump is. So there he goes. You even come off the wall.
Again.
I mean, it sets your teammate up for the goal. Early 1-0 lead. Easy question. Here's a softball. Were you happy with how it turned out?
Yeah. I was happy that like my prediction was right, if you will.
Okay. All right. Well, they almost get one back there. Shake and Bake. They do get one back, but Shake and Bake definitely had an opportunity right there. We're about a minute away from the next key moment. And one thing that I like to ask people is how often they watch their own replays back. Same question applies for you. Do you ever watch your own replay back?
No, I haven't. Unless I'm going to like get a clip from a replay. That's something I haven't really done. And I think it's because I just identify my mistakes in the moment there and try and learn from them in the moment.
Okay.
Instead of I don't know, more fluid. Learn more fluidly rather than going back and looking at it.
I do my best to incorporate the replays into my own knowledge, but myself, I mean, when my whole shtick is decision making, I kind of have an idea if I did something right or wrong.
Yeah.
There's a little bump from them right there. Here we are about 15 seconds away. And this is this is arguably my favorite moment from you. This is going to be a great goal right there. Fantastic finish. But just because this one's going to be my favorite moment doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good moment. We have good moments and bad moments. So right here, I want to know what is going through your mind as you make contact with the ball right there.
So off a kickoff, like I already knew that they were both probably going to be on, if you're looking from our goal out, that they were both going to be on the right side of the field. And I knew for sure that one had just followed me into the corner and also had 0 boost, so he was going to be going back. So my idea was to take it to the other side of the field where there wasn't a threat. And when I got right here, like I could see literally nobody. So like we're pretty safe.
Okay. Do you remember what happens?
No. Did we get scored on? Here?
No. But again, this is my favorite. Let's take a look.
All right. Oh.
It was close, right? So even in the game, you were like, that might be a little too close for comfort. So let me ask, in hindsight, are you still okay with taking the ball across? You explained why that's okay. There was no one over there, but would you change anything about it?
No, it was a mechanical mistake. I needed to take it up higher so that it didn't even dip down below our crossbar, and I didn't do that. It was probably because I was pretty comfortable.
I'll tell you this: if you were shooting on goal, that would have been one hell of a shot. Like the angles there.
Like my best doomsy that I've ever had.
Yeah, pull out the protractor. We are ready. Splash 2-2. I mean, that was almost another key moment, but it was just a great passing play from them.
I needed a challenge earlier. That's about all that sums up to.
Okay. That is going to set us up for a nice key moment number 3. But I'll ask 20 seconds away. Anything stick out in your mind watching this back in 10 words or less?
My hits. Like that shot that I just had on net. We were both in the corner there, so I hit it right to him. If they were better, like they definitely would have scored. And like my taking it across our goal, I didn't take it up above the goal. Like my mechanical ideas here that I wanted to do didn't come to fruition. I had a really terrible shot. I almost own goal. Like had some bad mechanical errors and
throwing back to the first part of the video for sure.
Yeah.
So right here, I'm gonna play it out just a little bit more. That's a great touch, but I want to know right here. Okay, you have acres of space. You're a farmer at this point, Woody. What are you thinking right here?
I'm thinking that I need to get at least one more touch to get some momentum on the ball towards the net, but not necessarily like a beamer on net, just because I know I'm going to grab those mid boost here. So I need to give a hit that gives me the chance to get a follow-up hit to like kind of ensure that I get this goal. But I'm pretty sure like I end up getting it more sideways than I wanted to, and you were there for the pass.
You're doing my job for me. So we're going to see what is a great pass central. Luckily, your teammate wasn't too terrible right there, so he got that put away. My question, my part 2 to this is, are you happy with that pass coming off, or do you wish that you were the one to carry it all the way to goal?
I mean, it didn't turn out how I wanted, if you will. So, I mean, it turned into a goal. You pushed up, you did your job. I got another hit on it. If you hadn't been there, I probably wouldn't have been able to get that follow-up touch that I was talking about. So,
okay. All right, fantastic. What I'm going to do, just because I feel like there's some more build-up play, let me rewind it just about 10 seconds. So this ball's going to come up. It's going to come bang down. Your teammate is actually going to be in a position to catch this and bring it down. I think that's important. So right there, your teammate should be in a pretty good position to carry this ball out.
Correct.
Spoiler alert. Doesn't quite happen. So right here, we're going to come up on the wall. I want to know, with this amazing camera angle, what are you thinking in this key moment?
So what started going through my head as you caught it on the backboard there and like went into the corner was that I spent too much time in the corner and I needed to go back to goal sooner. Because if I had like maybe trusted you more, I guess, then I would have already been back to goal and turned around. I wouldn't be backwards and in this situation. So now I'm in one of those like really awkward defensive situations where I either need to like get a hit that basically messes up the shooter or not let it cross in front of our goal. And because it's such one of those awkward defensive situations, I don't think I did either. I think it was kind of a panicky, awkward situation like I'm talking about there. So
All right, let's play it out. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Oh, it just went in.
It didn't quite come off the way that we wanted. So my part 2 for this one, though, is, like, what would you do differently in that situation? You mentioned that you would rotate back to goal sooner.
Yeah, I would have went back to goal sooner.
Okay. It's not more anything off the wall in that situation. It's definitely before then.
Yeah, it's definitely before then. Like if you can put yourself in a position to be in the least amount of awkward spots possible, then like you don't have to worry about being in those awkward positions. Like I know myself mechanically enough that like some awkward spots I'm really good at. That situation that I was just in is not one.
All right. Now here we are. I told you that I choose somewhere between 3 and 5 key moments. 4 down. You just got a demo. This is key moment number 5. I see someone far, far away. But I don't see a ball in this situation.
Correct.
So I want to know right here what's going through your mind.
So if you back up just a little bit for me. So I get this demo, right? Go ahead and play it.
Boom.
And then I see him go off the wall there, and the ball was in like a really awkward spot for him to get a good follow-up hit on it. It wasn't like he was going up for an air dribble. I'm pretty sure he was flying down towards the ball, which signals to me that you're probably going to catch it. So, and that he's going to be needing a second to recover, so that if I can go forward and get a spawn kill on the guy that I just killed, then you'll be able to walk the ball into the goal. So it's one of those high risk, high reward demo plays that I go for a lot. And if he had spawned over on the right side, I probably would have got it. But since he spawned on the left side, that gives me a whole field to cover, and that gives him much more time to react and see that I'm coming for him. And so I'm not able to get the demo here, which leaves you in a 2v1, and we get scored on. So it's one of those like bad decision for demos per se. For like a normal person, like this is a very bad demo to go for.
Okay.
For me, I've been in this position a lot. Like it was a 50-50 chance. Maybe if there was a minute and a half left, that's probably an okay decision. But 30 seconds left, even for me, this is too high risk for the reward. I probably should have just rotated back.
You explained that so well that when I make an updated what is Rocket League decision making, I'm probably just clipping this right here. I mean, that's exactly the whole point of this is, you know, your decision here is not a bad decision if it comes off. It's not. I mean, so many people bitch about demos. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Dude, people just bitch about it. In this situation,
I know all too well.
I'm gonna play it out, and we're gonna see that this one, unfortunately, I mean, he Ricky Bobbied you. He shook and booked.
Correct.
I'm not proud of that joke right there, but they were gonna get the goal. You already answered the question. 30 seconds left. Would you still go for that demo?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. All right.
That was a heat of the moment demo play that I tried to go for that didn't come. Was that a key moment right there? Do we need to rewind?
No, that was not a key moment. But I know how proud you are of this demo. So let's watch it one more time. So right here, completely blind. Where is Za? He's nowhere to be found, that's for sure. And that's going to set up your teammate for a nice little dirty dribble. If you've watched the first part of this episode, you know how it's going to end. It's Woody, the man himself, is going to put away the winning goal. So there's 2 questions I ask before everyone leaves, and I want to start asking those right now. Now, number 1, it's Woody. The bottom, it's Woody. Would you change anything from your gameplay?
In this game specifically,
Yep.
I would have taken less risks. I would have probably played a little more safe in the situations that I made really high risk, or I didn't necessarily trust my teammate to like catch on the backboard. And I think that's probably because of like where my rank is, and like that mid champ 2 is that like when I'm solo queuing, like I'm kind of on that border of whether someone is mechanically or game sense like competent enough
Okay.
to do what my teammate did in this situation.
Let me ask you then, for me, being your teammate, in that situation, are you happy? Be honest. Are you happy that I caught it, or do you wish I would have tried to bang it?
No, 100%. I'm happy you caught it. Like especially in twos. In threes, it's much more fast paced. So like sometimes you need to bang the ball a little bit to like maintain possession and not have that initial challenge. But in twos, like taking possession of the ball is like huge instead of banging away and giving the possession. So you taking possession of it would have been like exactly what I would have done had I been in your position. And maybe it was because our first twos game together ever, like I didn't fully know what you would do in that situation. So that left to me doing donuts in the corner as they got the ball on the challenge and left me in an awkward spot. And then the demo play at the end. Like if there had been like a couple changes there, that's 2 of their goals. Like we would be up 5-2.
Okay. All right, good answer. That's a great answer, and it kind of helps me grow as well with my own decision making. But question number 2, and this is my favorite one to ask. Overall, a little bit different. Are you happy with the decisions that you made in this game? Not necessarily the gameplay itself, but the decisions of doing what you wanted to do.
I would say, I think I identified three like big decisions that like I did very wrong. That like I'm pretty sure I even identified like as we were playing this game.
You did.
That I didn't like that I did them. But outside of that, a couple of the demo plays that I went for were pretty solid, especially in the beginning. Really targeted the shake and bake guy. And then there were a couple situations where I knew I had him with the ball, and I would just wait because I knew he was flustered or wasn't as solid as the other guy. So as long as we could target him and single him out, like that was really good. So I think outside of those 3 bad decisions that I already identified, I'm pretty happy with the rest of the game.
Out of 5 minutes, that's not a bad thing. Just 3 key moments or 3 decisions. Yeah. So, Woody, you've been a phenomenal guest. I cannot thank you enough for stopping by. However, you're a man on a mission with these 37,000 demos, and from time to time you stream on Twitch. Do me a favor and plug everything you have going on, anything you want to talk about.
So I stream very, very periodically on Twitch, but on Twitter is where I'll be most active. It's Woodyyyy. It's _Woodyyyy with 4 Ys, and that's my handle on basically every social media. But if you want to get a hold of me, anything, Twitter or Discord is the way to go. I'm in multiple servers. I'm very responsive, especially on Twitter. Like I said, that's where I'm most active. So any demo tips, just want to chat, just want to post clips, whatever. That's where you find me at.
Fantastic. All of that is going to be linked down below. And from time to time, you do post on your Instagram. I already have that link as well. So check it all out down below in the description. For everyone else, I mean, let's talk about 3 key moments, 3 takeaways from this, and get everyone on their way. Woody, one more time, thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, time for some final thoughts. First and foremost, if you consider yourself a demo-heavy player or just someone that enjoys demos at all, and maybe your numbers compete, take a look at that unofficial demo list for Rocket League. The names are constantly changing, and the top 10 is very competitive. Number 2, there's a bit of a risk versus reward with demos. Woody talks about it near the end of the video. If you're going to miss, it really can negatively impact your team. If you get it, you're really setting your team up for greatness. It's just finding those right moments. And then last but not least, Woody talks about the mechanics that he expects a Champ 2 player to have, and sometimes that falls short. The key is, as he says himself, you have to keep growing your mechanics throughout the game. I asked the question, positioning or mechanics, and a little bit of a spoiler, it might be both. It's a fun question, though. On that note, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. Please let me know that you liked it. Comment down below about absolutely anything and everything. Tell me if you like the playstyle that Woody has or if you hate it. And then subscribe if you want to see more of these. I'll see you soon. Bye.